everyone, welcome back to We Are on a Break, and thank you for tuning into We Are on a Break. If you have seen part 1 of our road trip, you already know that it's been amazing so far, and if you haven't yet, please go check it out first so you don't miss the start of this amazing journey. Today we are continuing our adventure and heading to Page, which is a small city in Arizona, home to some of the most iconic natural wonders in the US. And I'm pretty sure that every one of you must have seen at least one of these landscapes from Arizona on your screens as wallpaper or screensavers. So without further ado, let's begin this journey. And welcome to Page, Arizona. After about a 2-hour drive, we've almost reached our next destination, that's the Lower Antelope Canyon. We booked a guided tour with Kent's Tours since you cannot explore Antelope Canyon on your own, and this canyon is located on Navajo land and access is only permitted through authorized guides. So there are actually 2 separate canyons here, that is the Upper Antelope Canyon and the Lower Antelope Canyon. Both are narrow slot canyons with incredible red sandstone formations, but each offers a unique experience. From what I read and from what I was selecting, Upper is easier to walk and more famous for the light beams and more expensive, while Lower is a bit more adventurous with stairs and tighter paths and has dramatic views, which you will see in a while. Since we didn't have enough time to do both, we chose Lower, which is also a bit more adventurous and budget friendly. I've added the link to the tour which we booked in the description box below, so make sure to check it out if you want to plan a visit yourself. And as you see here, we've started walking towards the Lower Antelope Canyon with our tour guide. But before entering, we were clearly instructed that no videos are allowed inside the canyon. Strictly no videos, but only photos. Bags weren't permitted either, so we had to carry water bottles to stay hydrated, which, trust me, was essential because it was nearly 45 degrees out there. And ta-da! You see that narrow crack right there? Yes, that's actually the entrance to the Lower Antelope Canyon. And we walked about 20 meters deep through that small opening, and just like that, we were inside one of nature's most surreal creations. Yes, this is completely a natural wonder, carved around thousands of years ago by flash floods and erosion caused by wind and water rushing through the soft Navajo sandstone. What you see today here, these wonderful smooth curves, the wave-like patterns on the rocks, the glowing red walls, are all shaped by nature itself, and it honestly felt like stepping into a dream. Every corner of this Lower Antelope Canyon felt like a new painting. Different textures, different curves, shades of pink, orange, deep reds, which constantly changed as the sunlight shifted. This was amazing. I honestly wish we were allowed to take videos of this place, but filming wasn't allowed inside the canyon out of respect for Navajo Nation policies, and like good children, we respected their policies and stuck to taking only pictures. And just like that, our tour was done and we came out with amazing memories that will last for a lifetime. At our next stop, we stopped at Carl Hayden Visitor Center right beside the Glen Canyon Dam. So this is a visitor center which is a great place to take a short break, and also main and most important thing is to cool off in the air conditioning because it's so hot outside, and learn more about the history and construction of the dam. So also from here you can also see the Glen Canyon Bridge, and this bridge is one of the highest steel arch bridges in the US, and it connects both the sides of the canyon and gives a nice view of the red rock cliffs. And just below the Glen Canyon Bridge you get to see stunning views of Lake Powell. And did you know that this stunning lake is actually man-made? Yes, it's absolutely right that it is man-made. So this Lake Powell was created in 1963 when the Glen Canyon Dam was built on the Colorado River. So the goal of the government was to help supply water and electricity to several US states, and it took almost 17 years to completely fill, and now it's the second largest man-made lake in the country. Around 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning, we took off from Grand Canyon. That we had stayed in that camping area right from there, and then we made a stop at Glen Canyon again, saw the views, amazing views, and then our next stop was in Page, Arizona. Page is a city in Arizona, so that's where we did this Antelope Canyon. You also saw that. And next we saw the Glen Canyon and some other viewpoints along the way, and finally we made it to our stay. It's now 16, that's 4 o'clock, and I parked the car right in front of our stay, and this is our cute stay here in Page, Arizona. So we're going to rest for some time and then take off to watch the sunset at Horseshoe Bend. While we are on the way to Horseshoe Bend, here's something interesting I wanted to share. In the US, most national parks, monuments and recreation areas charge an entry fee which is quite different from Austria, Germany or Europe in general. Because back home, it's totally free to visit natural spots and see natural wonders. If you're visiting multiple parks here in the US, there's an $80 annual pass that covers over 2,000 sites. But Horseshoe Bend again isn't part of a national park, so no entry ticket is needed. Just a $10 parking fee, and then a short walk to the viewpoint. Welcome to Horseshoe Bend, one of the most iconic viewpoints in the American Southwest. We just parked our car here, and now it's time for about 20 to 25-minute walk to reach the actual viewpoint. If you're visiting in summer, just a heads up, it gets really hot out here, like cooking under the sun kind of hot. So bring water, wear a cap and pace yourself, because what's waiting at the end is absolutely stunning. And also, I always check the UV index before heading out, because we today arrived here around 6 p.m. when the UV index or the UV level was below 1, which is super safe for being out in the sun. The Horseshoe Bend. It gets its name from the way the Colorado River carves around the massive sandstone rock, forming a perfect horseshoe shape as you see here. And the bend is about 300 meters wide, and the cliffs that you see that is rising on top is around 300 meters, that is about 1,000 feet above the river below. What makes it so special is how the shape was formed, and which is carved naturally by the river over millions of years through erosion. This spot became super famous thanks to social media, and today it's one of the most photographed places in the US Southwest. I'm sure many of you have seen this view before, maybe as a wallpaper or screensaver, but seeing it in person, it hits differently. We also stayed here to watch the sunset, and it was absolutely stunning. We sat there and watched the sun slowly go behind the cliffs, spreading its charm like it always does, and painting the sky with the most beautiful sunset colors. And this one's definitely going into my book of golden hour moments.
How was it, Beverly, for you?
The Horseshoe Bend?
Yes.
Amazing. And after sunset, we headed to a local Navajo restaurant to try some traditional dishes. So I was hoping to catch their cultural show too, but sadly it wasn't there that day. We ordered the Navajo taco and the mashed potato. So Navajo taco is basically like puri topped with beans, meat, some veggies, cheese and salsa. But it was super filling and super delicious. The food was amazing. Let me also share a quick fact because I've been saying Navajo in this video. Let me tell you about the people there. The Navajo people are the largest Native American tribe in the US. And they are originally from these 4 regions, that is Arizona, Utah, Colorado and New Mexico. And they have a rich culture, deep spiritual traditions, and also they have their own language which was even used as a code during the World War II. And also coming back to filling of gas, in India this is not common, right? Because in India someone else does it for us. There are people in the petrol bunk, but here we have to do it ourselves, here as well as in Europe.
They do it with us.
Next morning, I stepped out to grab my vacation ritual. That's a nice warm matcha latte. I usually don't have anything in the mornings except hot water. Yes, you heard that right. But hey, when you're on a holiday, you've got to treat yourself, right? So I went for my favorite sweetened matcha latte with oat milk. Simple, cozy, and just what I needed to kickstart the day. Hello and good morning from another day from Arizona, and today we are driving back to Los Angeles and we are hoping we will reach Los Angeles around midnight, but that's not the point. Today we are driving towards Utah. I don't know how do you pronounce this, but on the way we are going to see some scenic viewpoints along the way, so let's begin our journey. And after hours of driving, we were finally in Utah, a state that's home to some of the most stunning landscapes in the US, from red rock formations, red rock arches to epic canyons and salt flats. So since we were making our way back to LA, I didn't want to miss Zion National Park, especially the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel, one of the most scenic drives in the country. Utah is honestly breathtaking, and I hope I can come back someday to explore more of its natural wonders. As you can already see, the scenery here is completely different, and honestly the camera doesn't do any justice. Seeing it with my own eyes was something else. Massive red and brown rock formations with stunning shapes surrounded from all the sides. It felt like we were driving through a natural cathedral that's carved by time. So Zion is so dramatic, raw and incredibly peaceful all at once, and the entry fee to this park costed us around $35. This viewpoint here is called Checkerboard Mesa, one of Zion's unique viewpoints, and the name comes from the crisscross pattern on the rock, which literally looks like a checkerboard, and these lines were formed by wind, water and erosion over thousands of years, and it's so cool to see nature's artwork up so close. Finally, we are now approaching the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel. We had to wait in line for a little bit since they allow vehicles only from one direction at a time and only a few at once. And then, ta-da! now we are inside the tunnel. I completely forgot to turn on my camera. So I missed filming the entire tunnel and also the stunning view as we came out of it. But trust me, seeing it with my own eyes was unforgettable. Every angle in Zion is a postcard. Honestly, it's a postcard, and sometimes I feel it's just good to be in the moment. So now let me rest and let the video speak for itself. Just like that, after soaking in the last few views, we left Zion National Park and started our journey back to Los Angeles. While we are on the road, here's a quick recap of the trip. This is what our road trip map looked like. We drove from Los Angeles to Arizona, spent some amazing time around the south rim of the Grand Canyon, then drove to Page, and then we made our way to Utah to visit the Zion National Park, and we crossed through Las Vegas and finally looped back to LA. So the weather in Las Vegas was hot, around like 45 degrees, and honestly stepping out felt impossible. Also the traffic there was catastrophic. And also we started collecting Starbucks Discovery Series mugs from every state we visited. So this is our new travel tradition and we love it. And that's a wrap on today's vlog. I know this one was a little too long, but I had so much to share and every part of this trip was worth it. As we drive back to Los Angeles with this beautiful sunset as our backdrop, I just want to say thank you for watching. Please show some love in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more travel stories. My Los Angeles vlog is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, stay blessed and ciao!